Hi, 5 things that business peeps can take away from teaching peeps. Casual title aside, there are some things that we kind of experience along the way on our journey that make for some good business tips. If you're truly awake, you'll know deep down many of these and you'll be practicing them, but here are top 5 from me. Okay, step 1, listening. Yes, we come with skills and content we want to impart, sure. We want to help just get the kids to discover their, content and, etc. But we've got delivery styles that we want to do. We have many objectives. Well, that's fine. We have many goals and so forth. But aside from our agenda, I think we need to pause more often. So even mid-talk, you might look around and you've got a few faces that are confused, puzzled, frustrated. And you just want to acknowledge that. So you might pause and you may say something like, "Are you okay?" You may also ask, "What question do you have?" So that's not saying, "Do you have a question?" Because if you ask that, often it could be a bit embarrassing and it takes stigma away from, question asking. And then you could say, "Would you like to add anything?" So I think having that space for open dialogue is important. And while you can't always have a pause can be great. A great way to open up new voices or opinions or solutions. If someone has a question, many others may too. Also, you might say at the end, "Does anyone have any comments, questions, or theories?" So really, key takeaway is leaving time to listen doesn't take away your presenting power. It can show you're confident enough to pivot, and respond to your audience's unique needs. That's inclusive and insight generating. Number 2, empathy. So you may be dealing with men and women in your business world, but inside their outer adult shell, they are more like a polished version of an 8-year-old self. So yes, you can be assertive, clear and honest, but when your colleague, your superior or your subordinates seem a bit off, their behaviour may be in fact not in response to your workplace, your question or your interaction with them, but it could come from an outside stressor. So when I mean that, when I teach my students, I leave some space in the imagination, in mine, and some room to not directly assume a direct link in their behaviour to the present. So if they're stressed, it could be from a friendship issue, lack of sleep, they feel sick, family stresses, anxiety, depression, etc., etc. Or may not be a different stressor. It could be that an entertaining one, which is I'd call an inside stressor, like a status issue, and that they're trying to outplay their fellow classmates to be seen as smarter or cooler, or simply they're trying to undermine, a classmate or even myself from a place of fear. And they may go on the attack to hide their insecurities and regain a perceived loss of control and power. So in moments like these, you just hold your ground. Do not assume you know what's going on and leave space for that person to share or to follow up with how they're going later. Step 3, you've got the exit slips. So you may have concluded a meeting, a briefing, whatever. And in our class, occasionally we have exit slips, which is basically a traffic light with a red, yellow and green button on them, I suppose, on paper. And you get the children to, on a post-it note, reflect on where they're at in terms of the content we've just engaged with. So you might have on the red, people might put a post-it note to say something like, red could be, "I need some extra help so I don't get something." And then they put what they don't get and why, possibly, or just, what they don't get on that red post-it note. You might then have some colleagues put on the yellow post-it note something like, "Yeah, I think I get it, but I need more support." And they might write what support they need to finish that project, to finish that task. And then you've got green, which is, "Yes, I understand and I can do this." And also you might say, "Can I try to do this also?" So you might have people asking, "Yes, I understand the current task, but can I have scope to try a different angle on this project? So yes, you can fit these kind of coloured prompts, the red, yellow and green, literally coloured paper, to suit your agenda, to suit what you want to find out from your work colleagues at that very time, okay? Okay, takeaway 4, there we go, gender presentations. So I'd find gender presentations more fluid. When children and teens are in a safe place, they present as their own selves. They wear dress-ups and boys paint their nails, okay, etc., etc. So they're not performing to gender stereotypes. But as they get older, some stereotypes alter their dreams and how they act. So the business world can also try and foster and maintain a working space that allows men and women to act as they choose without seeing an assertive woman as bossy or a softer man as weak. So a man that cries could be seen as too soft, etc., etc. When we create spaces and environments that allow the individual to be their true characters in a respectful and sincere way, we can get the best out of our employees and hence the best project outcomes. 5, creativity. Play for adults is also essential, and obviously very essential in children's development. So at the moment we're looking at some buzz models of play and education-based theories from Finland and Denmark, generally in our education, and it's being valued a lot more. But I think that play for adults can definitely generate new ideas and teamwork. What could that really look like for the business world? Well, adults should be encouraged to get back to this mode and more. And so instead of normal meetings with one speaker and comments after each agenda point, you could gamify the meeting where each small team or individual meeting member has like a buzzer, or where they have a projection screen that allows for comments to be projected on the screen, and then the attendees, etc., vote on which idea or item they would like to explore more. Others can be followed up later. This helps create a more relevant agenda, especially in times when professional development is involved. I know we've all had guest speakers come in and their talk perhaps does not add to or complement the objective of our organisation, your organisation. So instead of a fancy speaker, they can often be amazing, but instead of one sometimes, why not have an in-house facilitator who has gamified idea workshops, and later popular ideas can again be explored in more depth and practicality. It's really just up to your imagination how far you take that. Just think of what new ideas or projects could be initiated.